What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Games Up Podcast. After a slightly lengthy break, we are back and doing this all over again. We won't go into why we disappeared for a little while. There were some good things, some really bad things. But we're back being Games Up Podcast, and we're here to cover E3 2016. I am joined by Lewis.
Hello.
Lawrence will be joining us in a little bit. He has to travel basically from the other side of the country to get here, so we can be a bit patient with him.
I appreciate that, you know.
And we're going to shun our usual format of Topic of the Week and Indie Game of the Week and all that jazz, because this is E3. This is Christmas for gamers. It's special. So let's go in and break down our predictions for the show and our overall vibe going into it. Lewis, how are you doing?
I'm good.
You excited for
Yes.
E3 2K16?
Yes, 2K16, yeah.
Do you think it's going to beat 2K15?
For me, it would be difficult to
It
be
would.
honest.
2015 was a big year. It was the
yeah.
2007 of this generation.
For me, it was just... It blew me away last year, so I'm very excited to hopefully...
Yeah.
But, you know, fingers crossed that it does this year. But
It's definitely going to be interesting. With some of the stuff we've got on the table, though, maybe, if there was any year that could beat it, it might be this year.
Okay.
So do you want to run through?
Okay.
So we start off today with EA.
Mm.
Have you any pie in the sky predictions? So this is how it's going to work. We're going to note down one prediction each for every show. We can put down spares afterwards if we want, but we're going to nail into stone one prediction. Then we're going to come back after E3. I'm going to come back and root through them and score everyone.
Okay.
And somebody will get a prize. Lawrence won't because he's not here. But one of us will get a prize for our predictions. So we'll see what comes of that. So, E3, EA even.
EA.
Do you have any pie in the sky predictions for EA?
So, I don't know about pie in the sky, but I think we'll see more Mass Effect.
More Mass Effect.
More Andromeda. And I think, like, I don't know what their, like, big showpiece is going to be this year for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't know if you've got any idea about what's likely.
So your prediction is a Mass Effect blowout.
Yeah, like, that's going to be, like, their...
Do you think we'll get a release date? Because they've
had long enough now.
They've basically confirmed it's sort of Q1, Q2 2017.
Oh, really?
I think so, because they delayed it out of 2016.
Oh, okay.
So, if it's in that window, where do you think it's going to land? And this will be the bit I mark you on. Because my prediction is stupid, so I need a good...
What are you, like?
You'll see in a minute.
Okay.
So you're going to say Q1 2017?
Yeah.
Any month?
I think they're going to want to bring it right on the schedule, so January.
January?
Yeah. Early.
Interesting.
I know it's a weird schedule, but I think...
Like end of January to get it away from the Christmas? Okay. I could see that working.
27th exactly.
What? Something launched this year in January, didn't it? That was a big thing. It was that's like the Dying Light window.
Yeah.
Dying Light came out around that time a little later and did stupidly well for that launch. So I can see that.
There's a few places that are just empty windows in like the the year, you know, like everything comes out near Christmas and the fall.
Everything tries to avoid E3 because nobody's going to be able to play it.
Yeah.
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 It's very interesting. So your thing is January for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a good prediction. I think my prediction is that their showpiece is going to be a Star Wars game, and that they've reinvigorated 1313, and it lives again, and it's coming out fairly soon.
That is interesting.
I think
they're going heavy Star Wars at the moment, though.
Yeah, they are going. They're going hard on the Star Wars license,
and plus, I guess it's the best time to capitalize on it now.
Yeah,
you know.
And I think especially as they're probably not going to have enough time to get a game out before Episode 8 because that's May next year.
Yeah. So
they've basically got a year's cycle at this point. If they were going to push anything out within a year, it would be something that had some kind of assets.
What about Knights of the Old Republic?
What, 3?
Well, I don't know whether they'd be able to call it 3 at this point because it's all not canon anymore.
There is a huge amount of rumour that they are doing it. But I think if they are doing it, that's something... Oh, shit.
I think it would be number 1 again, personally.
So you just... so somebody's basically confirmed that keyboard and mouse support might be coming for Xbox One in the next few weeks. What if the game that launched that was KOTOR 3?
Okay. Yeah,
God damn, that would be good.
Yeah.
Oh, my prediction's real bad now. Okay.
But I don't know about that because I'm a bit confused about Star Wars these days because of the whole... Disney said that like all of the... Or somebody said that all of the
a lot of the
stuff is going
a lot
on.
of the extra books and games and shows have been sort of resigned to a separate pile. So yeah, it does make KOTOR interesting.
Yeah.
But maybe they can play with that? Like maybe they can just exist inside that universe and be happy with it?
It does sort of exist entirely separately, so it could still work.
Maybe, yeah.
All right.
Be interesting if they did that.
Yeah.
So that's EA. Let's move on to Bethesda.
Bethesda.
What do you think for Bethesda?
So, as I say, they've opened a new studio.
Yeah. I
think, although they tend to have the 4-year schedule that they've said, 5-year schedule.
Yeah.
That's kind of not set in stone, but it's
they very rarely deviate
noticed.
from it.
Yeah, but I think we're going to see something. I really do. I think like
so just to be clear, you think we're seeing it for which franchise?
So I think we're going to see another Elder Scrolls.
So you think we're Elder Scrolls 6?
Yes. But that's like maybe a little bit crazy, but I'm not sure. Like the thing is that the fact that they're still there means a lot, and at the moment, I don't think they can bring that much to the table at the moment. I mean, maybe we could see a remaster collection of the series. And I think potentially that could be really good. I think that could be a big showpiece for them. But then other than that, you've got like Dishonored 2, which is good, but it was always a cult classic. It's not a...
Yeah, it didn't have the huge sales that some of their bigger franchises did. I could see Dishonored 2 getting more.
Yeah.
Especially if it's their big push this year. But it's
not their main... I couldn't see it being their main thing.
It's not their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'd agree. I've been jostling about for this prediction. I can't pick which way to go. So I'm going to put one down as a main and one down as a side. My main is Prey 2 is alive and well, but it's nothing like that trailer we saw a few years ago. I think Prey 2 is alive, it's well, it's coming out in the next 6 months, but it's a pure horror game.
But that's I mean, the thing is that prediction's on the same kind of scale as like Half-Life 3. I mean, I don't know about the rumors behind it, but like, we're talking about a game that's like 10 years.
Yeah, you're right. It is. But remember, this is the year that The Last Guardian exists and is coming out.
That is true.
This is the year that No Man's Sky comes out. This is and it's going to be very hard. No matter what Bethesda do, it's going to be very hard for them to have the success they did last year.
Yeah.
Last year they came with bundles and bundles of Fallout 4 that people like. They managed to do that so perfectly. Of that week of Fallout 4 and then 6 months that release of Fallout 4. And they know, they're a smart company. They know that whatever they bring this year, it's either got to be so many little bundles that it can't possibly build up to its own hype.
Yeah.
Because even if it is... So my side project is... My side prediction, even, is there's a new Wolfenstein game. And it's coming out, but it launches with mod support day one. I think that's pretty realistic.
Yeah, maybe that could work, yeah.
But, like, Wolfenstein, whatever the sequel title is, Dishonored 2... The Skyrim remaster that's basically been confirmed, it's good, but it's like, this is the kind of stuff that goes on first party stages.
Yeah.
There's got to be something.
Yeah, there's got to be something. I mean, I don't know.
Because like, I think they can't do this upward curve forever.
Yeah.
Something's going to have to stop them. And maybe next year is the year they don't do a conference, or the year that their conference sort of slumps a little bit.
Yeah.
But if they can have the two biggest opening conferences at an E3 in years, that's one hell of a push for that studio.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just excited to see what we see.
Yeah, I am. I think they're one of the freshest people at E3.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we could see a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Fingers crossed for it, because I think if it does end up just being like what we've already gone through, it's going to be not great, you know.
Or maybe it will be. Maybe they know how to do shows. Who knows? So your prediction, Elder Scrolls 6, mine Prey 2. They're both pretty big pie in the sky ones.
Yeah, but you know mine's going to happen at some point.
True. Yeah.
You know, it might not be this year, but
that's a really fair point.
Yeah.
Okay, so from Bethesda we take a break and then we move on to Microsoft. Do you have a Microsoft thing?
How are they doing with the HoloLens?
That's a very good question. You probably have to ask Microsoft that, but there's been some rumour that HoloLens was listed as a device on Xbox One in the past few weeks on the website. They seem to not have deviated from it yet.
Okay.
So that's interesting. The other thing that will fly in the face of it, of course, is that there's big rumours that they're partnering with Oculus for a kind of console-compatible version of it.
Okay.
So who knows where that leaves AR?
Yeah.
But it's maybe still a viable option.
I think I'm more excited for what we see with Microsoft on the don't know what you'd call it, like the other stuff that comes along. You know, like the other developers we see when we see
the third party developers.
I'm excited to see what we see there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the main consoles tend to have like, here's the 3 exclusives we've got, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like Rare's made a new game or something like crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
We've got Sea of Thieves this year, which would be interesting.
yeah, that's true. So I'm hoping we get some cool, surprising something there.
Okay.
In terms of main, I don't know. You know,
You
like,
don't know?
I know that there's like things on the horizon, like Halo Wars,
Or Forza Horizon.
or Forza, yeah. But in terms of like big predictions, I don't really have one for Microsoft.
Okay, taking the back step.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do 2 in that case.
Okay.
Both
You
of
don't
them.
get both points though.
Both. No, that's fair enough. I'm not. There's no way both of these are gonna. One of these are gonna happen. My first ridiculous prediction is Microsoft. Their final one last thing moment is Sunset Overdrive 2. It comes out with a cinematic trailer that finishes with a releasing when it's ready kind of thing, but it's got that that punky attitude, like
Yeah.
releasing when it's fucking done or something like that, you know. But my second prediction, and this is absolute pie in the sky, can't see
Okay.
it for the clouds anymore, is Rockstar come out on stage and announce Red Dead 2. And the reason they're on Xbox stage is
That's
because they say if you buy it now, Red Dead is available on backwards compatibility.
Okay.
Because we know that's there.
Yeah.
We know Red Dead's being tested. It's just a matter of what's it being
Red Dead
tested
2's on
for.
It is something that's rumored to be on the horizon, isn't it?
2K have said that they are going to have a huge presence here. So that either means
Mm.
there are maybe
That's
3
a
or
good-
4
I
games
don't
that they
know.
have as huge presence, and that is
I don't know if that's
anything
crazy.
by Rockstar, BioShock, or Borderlands. I think BioShock and Borderlands are basic. They
I'd love
have
see
to be
BioShock.
there. They have to be there. The BioShock
In
collection
space.
has to be there. So what is it that they're teasing?
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe
I
Red
guess
Dead's
I
the thing
guess
that could bring
actually, when you say it,
Rockstar
Microsoft
back to E3.
could be a big thing.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Then we go to PC. The
Yeah.
PC conference.
So last year PC was like not great, right?
Last year PC was a lot of there was
Hardware.
a lot of VR stuff, if
Oh,
I
okay.
remember rightly, and there was a few little bits about Microsoft games coming to
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah. I don't know, because last year, this is the first year it's big, isn't it? Am I right in thinking that?
I think it's the first year that it's really having a sort of real credible push behind it. There was certainly like movement for it last year, and certainly it was big last year. But I think this year is the first year it could establish itself as like
Okay.
serious
hopefully.
conference.
I think we could see some big things there. Maybe.
Okay.
'Cause I admit, like, last year it was more on a focus on like hardware, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they've kind of maybe they know that it wasn't great last year,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be like, well, CG Project Red are here, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I could totally see them being there.
or like Crisis 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that's pretty like major in the PC world.
So if you had to nail something down, Crisis 4 is, I said that's a good shout.
Yeah. I really want to see Cyberpunk 2077. I really
Okay.
want to see it.
That's a good shout.
Admittedly, it could be anywhere in this. It's just...
I mean, it's going to be so interesting as well, because with The Witcher DLC coming out like within the last month, it would be very interesting to see CD Projekt go, that's The Witcher done, boom.
Well,
But then they're not the kind of the developer to do that, so maybe this is the first time we see them pick up 2 projects and run with them like that.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, they've always been very one track on things.
Yeah, yeah.
I think... I half remember them saying recently something about the lines of, like, we're kind of stopping content now for Witcher, because this is, like, the last DLC. So they're definitely moving on.
So that ramp-up push has been done.
Yeah, they're definitely moving on. Whether that means we're going to get anything soon?
Who knows?
But I'd love to see it.
I think that's a fairly... I think... when was Cyberpunk announced? It was a couple of years ago, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's been a while.
I think a couple of years in some kind of presence is a pretty strong prediction.
I mean, it depends, because, I mean, like, you go 2 years ago, and you're talking about a studio that not actually that many people knew about.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember Cyberpunk being announced, and I was like, oh, cool. Wait, who?
Yeah, like, I mean, I've played all the Witcher games, but The Witcher 3 just, like, that's the game that,
Blew the fuck up.
yeah, like, everybody was talking about it for a long time. It was, like, top of everything. You know, like, they've had such
it was
a good
our
year.
game of the year.
They've
Plug,
had
plug,
such
plug.
a 2 years. They've had such a good few years now because of that. So I think we could see something.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see them stepping up their PR game to match that. Yeah, that's a good shout. My prediction is I don't know what he'll announce. I don't know if he'll announce anything, but I think Gabe Newell will step on stage for it and talk about something.
That's.
I don't know whether it'll be a game.
Insane.
I don't know whether it'll be a VR thing. Maybe he'll announce I'm cutting Steam.
You realise as soon as that happens, like the internet's breaking down.
Yeah, like the front page of Reddit will die. But I think Gabe Newell, maybe he just like literally steps on stage and he's like, "Here's the PC conference." But I think he'll be there in some presence.
Yeah, there'll be a trillion Twitter posts in a second. Like the world.
So
will
many
stop.
parody accounts.
Yeah, I would love to see it. But I mean, when he announces that it's like Poker Night at the Inventory 3,
yeah,
like, the world is going to.
You know, Left 4 Dead 3 has been basically confirmed at this point for a while.
Well, I've said what I want is the 3 collection. So we just have we have Portal 3.
God, that would blow
Half-Life
every
3.
sales record out of the water.
Yeah, Team Fortress 3.
I could see something like that.
Because they always say that Gabe hates 3 because all the games have every game.
Remember, every time you say it, he pushes it back by a month. He must hate these kind of memes. Yeah, I say he's on stage, even if it's just for 30 seconds. I say he has a presence there.
I want to see it now.
Somebody has to really take ownership of that conference, and I think the people to do it are either Steam or whoever is going to take over Steam when it eventually falls, which will take a while. But
Origin.
It makes sense, I think, for Steam to sort of take ownership of that conference. So then we go from PC Gamer to everyone's favourite Watchtower creator, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
What do you think Ubisoft's going to announce? If anything,
they're going to be amazing, and then it's going to not be that good. Like every time. I mean, actually, last year I can't remember what they did last year. I don't remember it being as good as the rest of it.
Last year they had For Honor, they had Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I forgot what it was called. They had Far Cry Primal. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That was post that. And they had Ghost Recon Wildlands. That was the big thing.
Ghost Recon looked like it could have been Far Cry as well.
Yeah, it looks like Far Cry with drugs, which is Far Cry.
Yeah. So I don't know with Ubisoft, because I mean, you look at the years they had before this one, and they were just amazing every single year.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Watch Dogs happened, and Assassin's Creed Unity happened, and so I mean, like they say, don't trust E3.
Yeah,
Ubisoft is like the ultimate, don't trust Ubisoft at E3. They're the one that's like, I know you're really excited, but don't be too excited. It's all right.
You have to measure your expectations with Ubisoft a little bit, but they know how to break.
Oh yeah, they are amazing
and
at
for all
stuff.
the shit she gets online, Aisha Tyler fucking rocks that thing.
Oh yeah,
there's
gonna be some awkward moment.
You put anyone in a room. No offense, gaming populace, but you put anyone in a room with a room of people who's clamoring for fucking Beyond Good and Evil 2, and there's no way anyone can run that conference well. She's an actual human being at the front of that, and you do have to respect that.
Yeah, but she'll fit like a meme into every sentence. She'll flirt with some guy awkwardly.
Yeah, but she's she's not backstage writing the thing in between skits. They're not. Here's a trailer. I should go and write your next set of jokes.
True, but I mean, you have to record the number of face palms per minute.
It can be a bit awkward, but I think she's definitely fitted into it more and more and more, and it's awesome to see her doing such a recognisable job of it.
I just want them. I want them to be realistic for one thing. I think Ubisoft are the people. They're amazing at promoting stuff.
Yeah.
But it's always look at these 14 features. 3 of these are going to be in the actual game.
Yeah.
You're not going to see half of this.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue with them.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of big predictions, they could come onto stage and be amazing.
Yeah.
We could see Assassins again, and everyone kind of goes, "This is
different."
Well, there's that, but I mean, there's that whole thing of I think people are really tired of Assassins at this point.
Yeah. You have
to
to really be careful with how you play the next Assassins, especially if it is only a year and a bit away.
Yeah.
Because that year break we all thought was something that we wanted, but maybe we actually want a little more.
I don't know. Maybe
we need a real absence to make the heart grow fonder, or maybe it will get to another 6 months and we'll be clamouring for it.
They need to get to a point where it's this is what people want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because at the moment people are they had another chance. And then it kind of didn't work as much.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, the weird thing is they brought out Black Flag and Rogue, which are like really popular.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at like Unity and Syndicate, and you're kind of like, well, Syndicate was nicely reviewed, but people didn't really play it.
Yeah, yeah.
Unity was just kind of Unity.
It was trash.
And so like,
It was a good trash game, I would say. Like, there's a good core, but it's trash on top.
They've already had like quite a lot of chances at this point.
Yeah, they have.
In Assassins, and they have to come out, and it has to be the biggest hype thing for them to.
They have to prove that they're not running that IP into the ground anymore, and that will be a tough thing to do after years of doing that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and the problem is they have to show that in a way that's not like it's not enough to just be here's a cinematic trailer.
Yeah, I agree. They have to push it hard.
Like they're going to have to do something because at the moment, I can't imagine. I mean, people will buy it, obviously, but it's not going to have the hype that like 3 had.
Yeah, no,
3,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, do you have a prediction you can nail into the ground for them?
Not really.
No.
Like, there's things we know about, like Watch Dogs 2, which I'm sad that it got revealed, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's if that was their main thing, people would be having a go at them.
So you're going to take a step back from Ubisoft?
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm going to predict from Ubisoft that we see a new Splinter Cell game.
Oh yeah,
that's their big one last thing, and it looks more like the younger Splinter Cell games rather than the recent ones.
Yeah, because it kind of went a bit wild.
Yeah,
bit Max Payne-y.
It did. Yeah, and I think maybe they want to get back to that more. It's kind of hard to describe, but more kind of Spies versus Mechs core gameplay, kind of, and less, not core stealth, because I don't think that's what they want, and I certainly don't think people will buy it to the same extent that they will like a pure action game. But I do think they want to maybe push those stealth elements a little more, especially when their biggest competitor, Hitman, has changed so drastically. I think if Splinter Cell can release a full $60 disc-based game that will give the critics of Hitman, who are still critics of Hitman, a big decision to make. Yeah. And if they play that right, they could really play it into their hands. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll get something good. I think Ubisoft, last year they didn't have great. I think this year it's going to be like their year. Maybe, if they just pull out all the stops.
Spare prediction for Ubisoft. Another Rainbow Six game.
Yeah.
And it's pure story-based.
Okay.
I think maybe they split Rainbow Six.
Maybe they find a way to make people like it.
Maybe. Maybe they actually include
Vegas
the game
3.
in the game.
Vegas 3.
I would love Vegas 3. I'd love Patriots. I'd love Vegas 3.
As long as they actually do it well, or I think the problem is at the moment is they're just being too crazy with it.
They are being a bit one size fits all.
Yeah. But the other thing is that we always get these, massive, these are the features we're going to have. You can do all of these things. I mean, Siege, the E3 trailer for that is nothing like the game.
No, yeah, absolutely.
In any way.
It is very, very different. But then you've got to give it to them. They do show off these things that don't ever become reality, and they're so far-fetched from what the game is. But goddamn, do they show well.
Oh, yeah, that's the
you
thing.
go back and watch even the show-offs for... Syndicate never really excited me. And I love Assassin's Creed. We both love Assassin's Creed, and it just never clicked with me. But watching that demo, it's really good. Far Cry 4...
Well, that's what I mean. Ubisoft are amazing at doing demos.
And so it's about that measuring of expectation of what is realistic. And that's almost a shame.
Yeah, it is.
But in the same way, it's really nice to buy into it and think, oh my god, Far Cry 5 is going to be my life.
Yeah.
When it's not. But it's cool.
It's true.
So then we get onto perhaps the people who have the biggest mountain to climb considering what they did last year, which is Sony.
Yeah, Sony last year blew out the water. They
It's
completely
unbelievable.
destroyed E3. They destroyed the internet. Everything was gone.
They did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I don't know what they're going to do this year.
And I think last year was the first year, maybe other than Square Enix, where every conference was killer.
Yeah.
There was not there wasn't a conference except Square Enix and Nintendo where I can look at it and think, ugh, you dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
And Sony didn't drop the ball so good that they made everything else look like it dropped the ball in comparison.
Yeah. Well, Square Enix was unfortunate in having its main announcement moved elsewhere.
Yeah, and I think like Square
For
Enix
that.
were like Final Fantasy 15, and we were like, yeah,
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah.
They're like Hitman. Yeah, you showed that off last night. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, Hitman
Yeah.
was cinematic trailer, wasn't it?
Well, Hitman was confirmed at PlayStation. They were like, and an open beta for Hitman, and then
Oh,
everybody was like, wait, there's a new Hitman.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It was kind of awkward, and like,
So
I think it's telling that they're not here this year,
Yeah. I think
especially with a remake.
Sony this year. Well, in fairness, maybe Square Enix have decided to be with Sony again.
Maybe. But then the Final Fantasy marketing,
Mm.
the Final Fantasy 15 marketing, based on the posters outside of E3,
Oh, really?
is Xbox One.
Really? That's
Apparently
interesting.
so.
That's very interesting.
That's very interesting.
That's very
Phil Spencer has been throwing dollars left, right, and centre to get that.
Yeah, that's strange.
Mm.
That's funny. Well, we'll see.
We will see what happens there.
I'm thinking Metal Gear Solid 1 remake.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Konami?
Yeah, there is that. Okay, maybe that was a bit too interesting.
I mean, I think
Can I trust Konami not to
I
do
think
something
Metal
that's
Gear
bad?
Solid will have to be at this conference in some form,
Yeah.
even if it's just a title.
Pachinko.
Well, even if it's just a title, because I do think Konami now we're like,
Do you think they're gonna be
nearly a
not-
year gone. I think Konami need to come out and be like, we are doing this and we are set
Okay.
on it.
Okay.
Like they need to show that they have a direction for it. Because if they keep putting out Pachinko adverts and then the occasional investors
Yeah.
call, it's not going to be good for the money making potential of this franchise. I think they need
Yeah,
to
that's
nail
true.
something
'Cause I
in the
think-
ground.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless we're literally ending, like Konami as being a gaming company in terms of video games.
And I mean, they've basically confirmed that that's not. They've
Yeah.
basically come out and said that there is a 6 in the works somewhere.
Yeah.
So now we play the waiting game of what is that? And I think
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
potentially the time where they do need to come out and show there is something there.
Yeah. We could see it. I mean, I saw the Pachinko Metal Gear Solid 3 thing where it's like,
yeah,
look at this amazing the cinematic. It's a cinematic
32
from
times 32 HD.
yeah, it's a cinematic from Metal Gear Solid 3, and it's done again in this like Pachinko machine, and you're like, why? It's so beautiful, and you're like, but it's not what I want. It's a Pachinko machine.
So do you think maybe they do? Because clearly they've been working on assets from it.
I mean,
Maybe they do something with those assets.
They could easily pump out any game from that series just redone.
And
Maybe
people
not
will
to.
buy it in droves.
But yeah, like if they bring out Metal Gear Solid 1 redone, it's getting sold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's like basically 2 games at the PS1, and that's one of them. The other one's Final Fantasy 7. They're like the 2 PS1 games that are like universally the biggest.
So your prediction is Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
Metal Gear Solid 1 or any of them?
I think 1
1.
or 3, I guess.
My balls to the wall prediction, utter balls to the wall prediction. Hideo Kojima walks on stage with a cinematic trailer of his new game.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
And it's
Yeah.
basically Metal Gear Solid in a
Let's hope that Metal Gear Solid
Plasticky
doesn't
night
also
armor.
announce at the same time. But
Konami are like backstage scribbling. That's my utter balls to the wall prediction, and I think it makes some sense.
yeah, that's true.
Because it's been a fair while since they announced that they were working with him in partnership,
Yeah,
and there aren't
That's true.
many announcements that you can have that have the caliber of the amount of things that people were waiting
Yeah.
for. My side predictions, which aren't markable, are BioShock 3 is announced,
okay.
and it is set. Well, not 3, but like it's just titled BioShock,
yeah,
and it's set somewhere we haven't seen.
Space.
I'm thinking Wintry Tundra.
okay,
Borderlands 3 is on stage.
okay.
Something Crash Bandicoot happens.
Yeah, I know. There's been rumors about
If it's that Skylanders thing, I will laugh
world
my
dies.
arse off and then buy one. And the word PS Vita is not mentioned in the slightest.
that. Yeah. I think that's quite.
I
likely.
bet you there is no mention other than developers coming out and being like, and it's crossplay on the Vita.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Absolutely.
Don't remember
nothing.
the Vita's a thing.
Yeah.
Nobody.
They're
Forget
like
about the
they're
Vita, everyone.
either that or they do something ridiculous and announce Vita 2. But I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think there's no hope for Vita in this conference.
I think handhelds are not the way to go at this point.
See, I disagree. I think that the iPhone has showed that actually handhelds, if done right, can be
Yeah, but
more
that's-
profitable than a console.
The problem
It's the
is,
done right bit.
yeah. I mean,
But I bet
Sony's
you
the
any
only one
money,
that's gone
if
in
we
that
ever
direction.
see a Game Boy again or a PS Vita 2, it looks a lot more like my iPhone than it does a DS.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I guess, yeah, I mean, it's something that could be marketable to kids, probably. Like, you can buy your kids this device that has games on it, but isn't a phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could sell.
I mean, that's got huge marketing potential for kids
then
and
kids,
parents.
yeah.
Like, it's...
Well, it depends. I mean, like, PlayStation already did the... They released a mobile at some point. I can't remember what it was called or who made it.
The mobile?
Yeah, it's a phone as well.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
It dropped like a bomb.
Yeah, and then there was the Nokia Engage.
Yeah, I think that's it. It was like... But
There
I think it
was-
was too early. I think that's the main thing with that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
There's a lot of things that, like, just the wrong moment.
Yeah, and it's about when they capitalize on that moment.
All right, let's...
And maybe this is the conference for it. So Sony actually technically closed E3 out
Oh, okay.
because there is no
Oh, yeah,
Nintendo
right, yeah.
conference. There is a Treehouse stream where they're showing Zelda stuff, but there is no Nintendo conference.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I guess it's almost where you think it would go. I mean, I hate to be mean to Nintendo, but they're not having a great time in terms of
No, they are not.
in terms of gaming and like being popular in terms of the gaming world.
They are struggling
Yeah,
quite notably.
they're fine in money terms, but they bring
I'm-
out Zelda and everyone's happy. And they
I'm
get the
pretty
NX.
heavily disappointed in this, I'll be honest. I think...
Well, this is the time they should be announcing the NX, isn't it?
Yeah, this is their conference to lose.
Yeah.
Just like the Wii U was.
yeah.
The Wii U was absolutely their conference to lose, and they came out and did a fairly good job of it. It
Mm.
looked very interesting. There were critics, as there will always be, but the NX needs to change something.
Yeah.
It needs to. That company can't continue
Well,
in the way that they
that's-
have been, in that downward spiral.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because I think the longer they don't kind of come out and say, here's the NX and here it is, the worse it's getting. I mean, they haven't like done much in a long time.
Yeah. And we've seen a lot more companies trying to avoid the bundle of E3. We see like EA are doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And companies are trying to avoid it because if you get caught up in that, your game gets lost in among 20
Oh,
of
yeah.
those other games, and nobody does anything. But we've also seen that hype work so much in the favour of people. Last year, The Last Guardian, Final Fantasy, they dominated
Oh, yeah.
because they were such a surprise that they rode...
Yeah.
Rode? Is that the right word?
Yeah,
They
I guess.
rode the wave of hype
I mean, yeah,
right
that's the
over
thing.
the edge. And if Nintendo could do that, if they dropped Direct for this year, turned up on stage, a full conference, Reggie Fils-Aimé, do a tribute to Iwata,
Yeah.
give everyone what they want, show off the right games,
Yeah.
show off what people are working on, show us what this console is, drop the mic. They don't need to come back for 6 years, but this is their year to lose. And by not being here,
Yeah.
and not even not being here, but not having anything. Like, it's not that they're missing out because they're choosing to. It's not that they're missing out because, they have a better way of doing it. They literally have nothing other
Yeah.
than Zelda and a few games. And if they do, they're doing very little to message that they do, and that is a problem.
Yeah. And the thing is with them as well is that, like, the release window in Nintendo is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
They're in a sense that, like, we're going to announce you this. It could be out in the next, like, 8 years. That's kind of what
Yeah.
you're looking at whenever
Yeah.
they announce anything.
I mean, they've confirmed I think they've confirmed March as far as March for the NX,
Really?
which means that we've got...
They're not going to have, like, a big thing.
Well, they're going to do a direct at some point.
Yeah.
They're going to do an hour's worth of this is what the NX is. But there's something so untangible about that. E3 has always been really special, I think, because when you put something on a stage, that's what it is. And it'll change, but, like, when you put something on a stage, there is even if it's a 3D printed model, people are able to look at it and think, I'm going to own that box.
Well,
And that's something more tangible and more
Yeah.
valuable, I would think, to an audience like gamers and gaming, rather than the kind of pre-rendered cutscenes that we see in Directs. And last year the Nintendo Direct was kind of awkward because it
Yeah.
felt chunky and separated.
well, Nintendo's had some bad history with E3, to be honest.
They have, but I think last year the Direct felt quite awkward because there wasn't a huge amount to announce.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that took anyone by surprise, and the bits that were good felt very disjointed from the bits that were bad.
Yeah.
And if the same thing happens with the NX, whatever it is, even if it's like the NX is amazing, but there's middle moments, that gap is going to be felt so much greater than a tangible conference at E3.
The other thing is that they are, you know, and it's the best place to announce stuff is the closing of E3. Well, not closing, but
the grand
last thing, the last conference, because you know you look at whatever we get in the middle, unless it's amazing, it's going to be lost among the next announcements. Whereas they potentially could ride on their big announcements
absolutely
if they were there.
No, absolutely,
You know.
and we do tend to see the first parties dominate E3. We do seem like EA and Ubisoft always do an amazing job, but their 60 minutes compared to the first party's 90 minutes do feel smaller. And it's very odd to know that within 12 months, we will have a new Nintendo console in our houses.
Wow.
Well, we'll have it to buy in our houses.
The problem is with Nintendo at the moment is that I need to see anything that makes me suggest that the console's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's rumours that it's going to be like the same kind of quality as the consoles, and then there's the rumours that it's going to be like a handheld.
And then there's the other rumours that it's like 8 times as powerful, and this and the other. Yeah, it's all spread so far over the place, and man, they're not doing much to fix that right now. And they need to, because if it is out in March, that's 9 months.
Yeah.
To
and
announce a
console, anything about it.
Announce its release games, announce what its release window is, establish what it is and get people playing it, and put it out to market.
The other thing is that, like, I mean, you can trust Nintendo not to do it the normal way, because usually, you know, you announce something at E3 and it's a console is not going to be out quickly. You know, when they announce it, tends not to be like soon.
Well, and I mean, the thing is that 9 month span is probably about the same amount of time that we had between like the announcement of the PS4 and its November release date.
It's long enough to build up a good amount of hype, is the thing.
But the difference is that the PS4 announced in February and then had E3 to do a lot of that work.
Yeah.
And then petered out for its console and for its release date even. And Nintendo were going to have to do all that work, all that hype, all that build-up entirely off their own back. And when they're already struggling, like they're already struggling to make the Wii U buyable, they're already struggling to make Zelda on the Wii U believable, they're already struggling to make people buy into this NX hype before it's even existing. To do that off their own back already is a huge, mammoth task. And to do it now without any kind of tangible public-facing other than Zelda, especially as that's on the Wii U. Like, people aren't going to be playing that on the NX. We know it's coming to the NX.
Yeah.
But people are going to be demoing it on the Wii U. It's very odd from them.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much of it is a calculated move.
Do you know when the next thing that they would announce it at? If it wasn't, if it was piggybacked onto another.
The only other thing I could see is maybe Paris Games Week, maybe TGS.
Okay.
So maybe Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
But the way they've been doing it, it seems like they're going to go direct.
Yeah, it's strange.
It is very odd. So I think we can all agree that no matter who wins E3. Sorry, what did you say?
Do you think it's delayed another 10 years or something ridiculous? I mean,
I think we can all agree that no matter who wins E3, no matter who comes out of the next few days the victor, Nintendo have definitely lost it.
Yeah.
And that's a great shame to say an hour before everything starts.
Yeah.
It's a real problem for them. So I think that wraps it up.
Yep.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think I am too. It's nice to have... I don't know, the games industry can be quite cynical for 12...
Oh, I'm a super cynic.
Well, we're both pretty cynical. We're both, I'd say, hopefully quite grounded. And I think it's nice to be able to like put your feet up and be childish again for 3 days. There's 560...
I was a bit cynical last year. I remember this. I'm going to be good this year. I promise.
562 days in a year? Is that right?
What?
How many days are there in a year?
What did you say?
How many days are there in a year?
What did you say?
300... That's it, 360...
What did you say?
I said 562. There's another... Shut up. There's another 300...
Okay.
We were so close to not derailing. There's another 362 days to be cynical. Let's sit down and just enjoy this.
Yeah.
I got there in the end. So thank you very much for joining me and Lewis. Thank you very much for listening. If you did like this, If you enjoyed what you heard here and you'd like to show us a little bit of support, we'd really appreciate it. Consider pressing the like button. It helps us get out in front of more people, and it helps us know that we're doing something you enjoy, which is valuable. And if you really like it, and you really want to show support, or you really want to see what else we do over the next few days of conferences, please consider subscribing, because we're going to have stuff up within hours of the conferences happening. High quality, well-made, hopefully well-paced audio that you can enjoy. And we'd hate for you to miss it, and we'd love your support. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time. But until then, happy E3, everybody, and the game's up.